I am more than willing to sit here next week and say that gravel racing is fake news. Fake news or not fake news, that's for you to decide. What I'm here to do is to entertain you with a pretty good recap of a damn good bike race. So we are counting down to the start of the Dirty Warrny here at Mount Moriac Recreation Centre. We are underway and on board. But what is the Southern Hemispheres Gravel Monument? Well, it's 246 Ks, 3,200 metres of climbing from Geelong to Warrnambool. 84% of that is off-road. Unlike the event that this is based on, the second oldest road race in the world, fun fact, the Melbourne to Warrnambool Cycling Classic. So as we roll through the 9Ks of neutral, I just want to point this out. So we have 4 feed zones, and this is going to play a crucial role as the event plays out. The ute speeds away and we are underway. So this is my actual first mass participation event gravel race. So early on, I'm being watchful, but I want to stay around the front. I want to be involved. I'm racing this really as a gravel race. Now, massive shout to Hamish at Long and Winding. He passed on some footage of myself doing just that. Like, this is right towards the front of the race, being watchful and actually trying to jump in moves. Let's point this out, all right? 2 water bottles, as most normal people would. Then, bang, straight into just blistering, bloody corrugated crap. And look, yeah, Chris has 1 water bottle. Great spot, Hamish. Yeah, so I'm down 100 grams of carbs. Look back on some corrugated crap. It's not a disaster, but I was super annoyed because I bloody planned that. And anyway, underway, 100 grams down. That's okay. First feed zone, I can hopefully correct those wrongs. Again, just trying to stay up in around the front, be aggressive. And I do catch myself here, bridging across to Jeff, a guy I ride with here in Sydney. He got sort of 50, 60 metres off the front and we got a gap. We get a 30, 40 second gap. The actual bunch sort of sits up for a while. And this is a massive help because just as we go a little bit further down the road, here we are on really this steppy first KOM climb. These guys have bridged across to us, to Jeff and I, and I'm looking around and I'm going, well, this is really the top end of the race. We've got a gap. There's 12, 15 guys here with a gap on the main bunch. And again, I'm looking around. I know some of these people, not personally, but I know of their palmares. And so Scott Bowden, he rode in the Olympics. He's an under-23 XCO national champ. Very, very strong and driving the pace up this first climb. Connor Sen's former national gravel champ. I don't know if he was a lifetime Grand Prix athlete in 23, but certainly rode quite a few of them. But anyway, my point is, I almost got into this group for free. And once we crest over that first KOM and come bombing down the other sides, the descents, for most part, were super fun, actually. We come through this first speed zone. I want to play this out because you can kind of hear me interacting a bit with James.
James, yeah. I dropped a bottle, so can you give me extra carbs at the next one?
So that's pretty promising. I hopefully he'll give me an extra bottle. I'll be 100 grams down, but that should cover me no problems. Another thing I want to point out. So early on, the guy who makes this break, yeah, that's a Madone. That's a Madone with 30 mil tyres. This is what happens when you do a bike race, Chris. I just check bikes out the whole time. All right, we are at the base of the main selection point. This is the main climb. Really, we're now 50 guys at the front, sort of a second bridging group's come across, but I've almost gotten to that front group for free. But now there's no hiding because this is a 10K climb. It's going to be 15-ish minutes. Super steppy climb, as you just saw. And we're going to ride this out with me because this, as I really stressed, is the main selection point. I didn't have power displayed at any point during this race. I almost did that on purpose, but I'm also glad that I didn't because, as you can see here, I'm riding way above my threshold here, and the main guys are riding away. So that right there is the front of the race, riding away. I'm doing what I can. Now, we're going to have another little call out here. Let's have another look. So it's now 2 groups forming. The front group of 4 or 5, and then another group there of 4 or 5. That second group now has to be my aim. And as we get towards the top of this first step, there they are. This is the most important part of the race for me. This is it. Full stop. We're about to crest this climb. There's no one behind me except for Will Clark. Will Clark comes around me. We get to these guys here. There's now a false flat section of 2Ks. We're on them. We are in, basically, we're in the running here. Massive drive. Just as we crest, Trust me, we get there. I don't know why I turned the camera off there, but this is a huge, huge moment because we get there and we see this second group that I'm now in, and I look around and again, I'm like, these are hitters. These are all off-road hitters. There's Johnny Odom's in front of me here, 4 times mountain bike national champ. To be brutally honest at this point, second group on the road, I'm like stoked. Absolutely stoked. Now I know the guys in the group are, they're a bit above that level. They want to sort of get right to the front of the race, and I'm hanging on, and I'm hanging on the descents as well. So that was almost the end of my race. Let's just have another look at that, because I come around the corner, my front wheel gets stuck in a rut and almost goes straight over the bars.
How the fuck did I keep that up?
Yeah, just a note, the language in this is terrible. Am I swearing? I'm really sorry. I'll have to put a note on that. I'm very sorry. Just the language. So anyway, we come to the front of the race. The guys drive it so hard. We are now at the front of the dirty Warrny, and we're coming into this main feed zone. The main feed zone, this is wild. Guys, I'm going to play this out in full. So this will be unedited, and we'll tick the clock on this. There I am coming into the second or third. I pull up with James. My plan here.
Okay, I've got 2 extra gels in here for you.
So he's got 2 extra gels.
Can I have the pack? Yep.
I swap packs over.
Well, is that it?
Guys are already going.
Oh, do you want your sugar flask?
James gives me his sugar flask.
Here you go.
Swearing
Here you
again.
go.
Sugar flask in the mouth.
Still
See
warm,
that?
mate.
31 seconds. I'm off. And swear again because my sugar flask just exploded.
All right, we're on the second camera here through the feed zone, and front group 20.
So it wasn't 20, it's about 12, but that's my current status. I'm down 350 grams, which will mean I'm at about 60 grams per hour. I've got 2.5 hours of racing before the next feed zone, and hopefully James saw that I dropped it and he's able to help me out. We will see. But that would have all been kind of useless as another point where my race is almost... I'm just going to play this out. A lot of people had trouble with this corner. I don't know why this happened to me. Let's just have a quick look. I get back on. I'm just going to play that again because it looks like I'm okay, and then as the road rolls away, my front wheel just dips, and I go straight into the grass, and thankfully I ride through it and manage to come out of the grass and ride back through to the guys. At this point, I want to drop back to what my whole race plan was.
I want to race this 8-hour race like it's a 4-hour race. So let me explain. From what I've sort of heard from people, a lot of the way this plays out is you are very much in the back half of the race in your group because it's flatter, you're in a headwind, you're just in your group. So whatever selection is made in the first half of the race is very much how the race plays out. So the way that plays into my thinking here is my intention is to go beyond what I think I'm capable of early on with the goal of staying in a group that's potentially above my ability with more risk of just being blown out the back door of it. I'm willing to risk that.
Words are cheap. The reality is, when it comes to crunch time and you actually have to do that, it's a lot harder. So here we are, lead group. We've got an 11-minute gap on the group behind. There's 12 riders. The race is essentially right here. I'm in it. And this is the moment. We've come through what I thought was some of the hardest stuff. Turns out it wasn't. So a lot of these sort of climbs now. This is a 5K climb being driven hard on the front, and it's a very much Chris in full passenger mode here, doing everything he can to hang on. And this was an interesting shot. It was passed on to us. You actually have a look at the faces. Yeah, that's pretty much about how I feel. It's kind of almost reassuring to see a lot of the faces were in a similar way, except for Scott. It's kind of interesting to note that as we roll up through over the Wu-Tang climb. Huge moment in the race. You can see actually I get a little bit tailed off there as we crest over that one, and there's a sit-up moment. And I think I say something about doing a piss on the bike, but then let's just have a look at Scott Bowden here. So Scott Bowden, high cadence, seated attack. Guys are maxed out. Picked him out there. Gets a gap, and there is no reaction. There are 70 Ks to go here. The YouTube is not responding, I can tell you that much. But that for those of you playing along at home, is the move that jumps away. Now, Dylan Sunderland attacks not long after that, and you can actually, if I pull that out, you can just see him over there. So that's first and second riding up the road.
Is that mix?
As we come to the third...
Is that mix?
I'm going to play this through.
Thank you. Oh, fuck. Jesus.
So she pulls the mixers away from me,
Chris,
which I thought was a neutral support. It's not. Thank God James is here.
here you go. Throw them out. Oh. Yep.
You can hear the panic in me. Like I've just...
All right, off you go. See you in Timbone. Anything else in Timbone?
Everything you've got.
To James, I'm a real asshole at these feed zones. But I'm dropped again. So another feed zone. There's my group. There's third to fifth. And this effort sucked. Headwind road section. They started chopping off straight away. And that was a massive effort for me. That was basically another nail in the coffin that's already well and truly been built. So 2.5 minutes over 400. All right, so I'm back on. Let's do a quick bike check, a little equipment check. So the Cervelo Aspero size 54, I'm using the Cervelo bar and stem, the gravel bar and stem, 38 120 stem. I've been trying these aero gravel wheels from number 6 with the 28mm rim internal Shimano GRX 12-speed. A 50-34 with 11-34 at the back, Favero MX Pro 2 pedals, the Bont Vapor G shoes, of course the Nero suit, and the Conti TerraSpeed 45s, running at 28 PSI. Now, the reason I said that torque is cheap is because the reality of going deeper than you wanted to go is this sort of stuff. So I'm being tailed off now on... So we're at the third last climb, before the last 50Ks flat. Third last climb, I'm being tailed off, but this... I'm not planning anything. I'm just simply trying to hold what I've got left and hope, because a lot of these climbs did this where they would sort of just slowly, this is just a slow weld, look at this, they would just slowly crest, and I could keep my sort of power on the pedals and get over the top of them and come back on. And I did this 3 times, which I'm sure just frustrated the living daylights out of these guys. So I would get dropped and just roll back on and then not do any turns. So I'd sort of just try and sit on, okay, I did one, this is potentially one downhill turn is literally all I did. And as we come into the second last climb, it's just, I just can't hold it. Now we've started to catch guys in doing the shorter distances. As you can see, these sort of guys coming, but that group of 3, 4 in front, that's my group, and I'm done.
I hung on for 186. That was the end of me. Just empty. Absolutely empty.
But have to reset. I mean, as these guys ride away, that's third to 6, but I really want a top 10. I feel like this, but I'm desperate for a top 10. So thankfully, crest this climb, come down into a feed zone. James is waiting for me. And it's just
2 carbs.
No gels.
I do.
So I knew we had time. I knew we had time now. So I've got Will Clark's here with me.
No gels. Do you want a banana or something?
Any caffeine?
Yeah, I've got a caffeine thing.
That'd be good.
Yeah, there you go.
What's this?
Caffeine shot.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And that's 90 grams of carbs if you want. Yep. Awesome, mate. You're doing
My only hope here to finish here is I don't.
What I was saying is my only hope to finish was to hang on Will's wheel for as long as I could, which is basically what happened. And he dropped me in the end. He was way stronger than me because it was flat. I was managed to hang in there and do something, but yeah. So you saw Scott Bowden's attack. This is him crossing the line. And this is what it looks like. And for a fake news gravel racer, this is what it looks like for me. And let's have a quick look at the numbers involved. Yeah, 8 hours, over 3,000 kilojoules, over 500 TSS, 277 normalized, and empty. I haven't been this empty in I can't tell you how long. And looking around, it was like a war zone. Guys, in the top 10, it's just, it was like a war zone. And I sort of take the piss a bit about the gravel racing fake news thing. But like when you see the interview with Scott, at the finish line, real sport. It's amazing. I could watch this stuff. Like, it's friggin' awesome. The elite men's podium, the elite women's podium. And they even let an old man stand up there for an age category win. And look, I'm super aware that like not everyone's racing this is a full-out race and trying to kill themselves, and everyone's experience is very, very different. But I will say this is a bucket list race. It's a bucket list ride for sure, but you can't come into this and sell it short. It's hard. It's real hard. It's never easy on the pedals. You do have to be prepared. Joy of finishing this event is in many ways going to come from the process of preparing for it, and you'll enjoy it a lot better. For me, I'll come back, whether it's next year or not, I'm not sure. Obviously, more prepared in this space. Like the FeedZone stuff for me was a big learning curve, definitely. A massive shout to James and a massive apology for my attitude at these FeedZones. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, guys, drop us a comment. Obviously, I love doing event videos, so the better these videos do, hopefully the more of them I can do. We'll see you again real soon, either here or on the show. Thanks, guys.